Hello. Right. Kicking this thing off right, because usually I'm late. So I'm gonna wait a few minutes here to give everybody a chance to come on. Sorry, I'm a horrible camera person. You see my giant umbrella. My room has very poor lighting, so I have these lights that I use when I make videos, and they really help with lighting up the room when I'm working too, so I can see what I'm doing. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody can make it. I was supposed to put makeup on before I started, and I did not, so sorry I'm looking a little rough. It is Friday. I got my drink.
What do you want me to put on here?
We're gonna put a big, oh, you can pick what you want to put on there. Okay, so Elise.
I want to put this one on.
We have my assistant. Okay, Elise, you want to tell everybody hi?
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi, group.
Hi, group. I think she's a professional now. Wait, don't spray the shirt. Don't spray it. We don't want to spray it yet. So, all right, so she's getting her shirt.
I want to change it into this one. What is it for?
Well, Mommy was doing some tests. I was seeing which one I liked. So
I want this one.
Okay. All right. Well, how about we do your letter E with Elise?
Is that my shirt?
Yeah, it's gonna be your
No,
shirt.
I want it to be pink.
The letter E is gonna be pink. With the
No,
and the other.
I want my shirt to be
goodness.
pink.
I don't have no pink shirts. Can I make this one tonight, and then I'll go to the store?
I actually wanted my shirt pink.
Okay.
I actually wanted my name pink.
Okay, I could do that. I'm gonna make your name pink.
Could you throw this into pink?
Maybe.
Mommy,
Okay.
you have to play it on.
Hi, lovely MSL1. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be. You don't have just like your regular name. So let me pull up the computer. Okay, so first off, welcome if you're new here. I'm Carly Bell. I like to do machine embroidery tutorials, and I've been doing this for a little while now, but I started 3 years ago, and then I did it, and then I stopped. What's wrong, baby? It's okay, I'm gonna fix it. And then finally this year I got my butt in gear, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna try to do this again. So I started making more videos, and I started a Facebook group, and a couple months ago I started doing lives in the Facebook group, and then it turned into like a little Friday night tradition, and we call it Sip and Stitch. So Fridays, the end of the week, I had a rough week. I'm sure everybody else had a rough week too. It's time for a beverage and a little creative release of stress. So, first thing I wanted to do, so please bear with me. I am not the most organized person. I don't have my stuff together at all. And I need to pull up the thing on the computer so that I can see, because I can see sometimes when people write something, but I can't see everything. Okay, so let me do this and turn the sound off. Okay, now I see the chat. Nice. All right, so hope everybody's doing good. I'm so glad y'all are here. Let's have a sip. Okay, let me pull up, let me show y'all the design I'm doing tonight. So I picked this design. Elise did not. But I think it's so cute, and I want to make this for her, but I'm having trouble convincing her that she likes it. So I'm going to put a link to the design right now in the chat, and it's from Planet Appliqué. And I tried to be a good girl and look through designs I already own to find something cute for her, because it's so hard not to buy more designs because they're so cute. So this is the design I'll be doing tonight. It's called Paper and Pencil Alpha, and I can show you real quick on my computer screen. I'm sorry, I am a horrible camera person. But if you can see that, it's a cute little, like, looks like a loose leaf piece of paper with the letter and a pencil, and then write the name on the bottom. So it looks simple, but it's actually 5 pieces of applique in this design. So let me go to Embroidery now. So I use Embroidery Essentials, and so I opened the design in Embroidery Essentials, and then I added her name at the bottom. So this is what I'm going to save, and I'm going to save it as a stitch file and then put it on my flash drive, and we're going to stitch it out 770.
Mom,
What, baby?
can I use these?
No, you can't use those.
On
No,
here.
no. These will poke you. They will poke you and they make you hurt very
Then
badly.
how do I put these on?
So you're not going to put that on. She's playing with some pieces of, I like to do test stitches sometimes, and I just do it like on cutaway stabilizer. And then I save some of them, and she plays with them, and she wants to put it on her shirt.
Can you use your hot glue gun?
No, we can't use the hot glue gun. So hi, everybody. I'm sorry I'm not quick enough to
Mommy,
answer
I'm gonna put this
and say
on.
hi. Okay, we're going to put it on, sweetheart. All right.
Ow.
So the first thing we're going to do, so give me 1 second. I'm going to put my phone on this tripod thingy, and maybe then I will be a little bit better at the camera person. No, I won't. Okay. I think this is going to stay. Let's see. Now this is not a very good tripod. It doesn't stay very good. It might fall over while we're talking. Okay, so what Elise and I are going to do now, so I wanted to show you, this thing is very wobbly. Okay, I picked out some fabrics for the applique. So if you saw it in the picture just now, or if you click the link
Mommy,
that and look at the design.
it's this
Are you measuring?
109.
Okay, you measuring? Good. So I'm going to do this on a purple shirt. So I thought since the design is mainly looks like a sheet of paper, it would look better on a colored shirt than a white shirt. And I did have this purple one. Unfortunately, it's not pink, so hopefully she'll still wear it.
No, I want it to be
I
pink.
know. We're going to get a pink shirt maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Complications of a 4-year-old, guys. Okay.
I want it to be pink.
We're making it pink. We're going to make it pink. Don't touch that.
No,
That
I
is
want
hot.
the shirt pink.
Okay, well we'll make another shirt tomorrow that's pink. All right, so the shirt, the piece of paper will be white, and I have this pretty white fabric, and I don't know if you could see, it's kind of got a paisley print on it, so this is a little bit fun. Yes, I know, she wants pink. I don't have a pink shirt. Let me see. No, I really don't have a pink shirt. Ugh. Oh wait, what's this? Long sleeve. We got a long sleeve shirt. You know, she is 4. Stand up, Elise. Let me see if this shirt will fit you. I do have a 3T pink shirt. Hey, stand up. Look, I found a pink shirt. Let me see if it'll fit you. Stand up. Stand up. Okay, let's see. Oh, I think that will fit you. You want this shirt?
Oh, I want it to be light pink.
Oh, geez, I can't make her happy. Ah!
I like light
Oh, my goodness. This is going great, guys.
I
My
like
first YouTube live.
pink.
We got a girl, 4-year-old, screaming at me.
I
She wants a pink shirt.
Light
And we just dropped the phone
pink.
on the
I
floor.
want it to be light pink.
Okay, Lacey.
Light.
All right, sorry about that, guys. Okay, I can't win with her with the shirt, so we're going to stick with the 4 shirts so that one day, hopefully in the near future, she still will want to wear it. So, all right. So we're going to do applique. And, okay, so I showed you the fabric for the shirt, the paper. Okay, I think I'm gonna fill in the E with this pretty pink fabric. Then the pencil has 3 pieces. So the yellow of the pencil will do this yellow gingham and just a plain pink for the eraser. And there's a tiny piece of applique for the wood of the pencil. Thank you, Wendy. Oh, just stay in the life of the craziness here. So, and then I picked some threads. So I use Exquisite embroidery thread. Thank you, Valerie. Yes, real life struggles. I use Exquisite. You found a computer? This is Exquisite embroidery thread, and I get it from Sewing Machines Plus. And I like it because when I run out, it didn't come as it's not a bundle. You can buy the individual colors you want. But at any point in this post, and I'll try to remember to go link it on the computer, but I have a blog post with all of the supplies that I use listed in it. So at the end of the video tonight, I will show y'all that so y'all can see, because I know I'm gonna be using a lot of things and people usually ask questions like, you know, where'd you get that from and what are you using? So the first thing we need to do, I'm gonna move over to the craft table, is we need to hoop the shirt and put stabilizer on it.
Mom, I know how to count to 20.
I know you do. You're so smart. So I'm gonna plug
Mom,
in my
watch
iron
this.
real quick. And look that
Mom,
one
watch this, Mom.
up. Show me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Good job. You only skipped a couple of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 'cause
Hey,
how-
hey, please don't knock mommy's
That's
phone over
20.
again. Okay. So here's the shirt.
I could talk to 20.
Okay.
I could talk to 20.
Let mommy talk. She's gonna knock the phone over again, guys. So
Mommy,
yes, baby.
how do you spell the?
The THE. Okay, so
Mommy.
we have the shirt. Lisi, baby, I need you to give mommy a minute.
Which
okay?
one does?
Hey, listen,
What is
listen.
T?
I'm sorry, guys.
Look like.
This is gonna be my worst video yet. So we have the shirt ready. So some of the things that we're gonna do. So I'm working on the Brother PE 770. So that machine is pretty much the same thing as the Brother PE 800. A couple differences with it. The 800 is nicer. They have a couple more features and a nice color screen. But basically everything I'm doing lines up with that one if that's what you have at home. I'm using a 5x7 hoop.
Mommy, I found
And this is the grid that
Mommy,
came
I
with my
found
hoop.
T.
Okay, babe, good job. And I use the grid that comes with the hoop
Mommy,
as
this is
a way to help me with
Mommy,
placement.
this is the T. This is the T.
Okay, that's the T. All right, hold on one second, guys.
Beep, boop. Beep, boop. Beep, boop, boop, boop. Daddy! Daddy! Daddy, how do you spell the?
Okay. So
Come on, let's get out of here.
I have the hoop.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Elisa to go play with her dad so y'all can hear what I'm saying.
Capiche?
Okay.
Hey, let's
So-
go watch Miraculous.
The first thing I'm going to do is iron the shirt. Okay, Nadine asked where I got my shirt. So these are shirts from Walmart.
Come on, Oz.
This is the Granimals.
Hold on, bud.
And I think they also have Wonder Nation. I like to use good blank shirts, but I don't always have them. I don't do too many like orders for people. I mainly make things for my kids, and I make birthday presents and baby shower gifts and wedding gifts. Once in a while I'll have someone ask me to make something for them, and then I try to use good things for that. But when it's for my kids, or when I just need to go grab something real quick, I usually get blanks at Walmart. When I do have the chance to buy nice blanks, I get them from Blanks Boutique and ARB. And then someone that I also watch on YouTube, Angela, she just started her own blanks company, AJ Blanks, and I haven't ordered from her yet, but I do plan to. All right, and she's asking, do they last after several washes? Yes, yes. The only difference with the Walmart shirts versus the nice blank shirts is the thickness of the shirt. And the way I compensate for that is I use more stabilizer. So because the shirt is thinner, it needs more stabilizer. When you use a nice quality blank shirt, you don't need as much stabilizer. So that's mainly where I find the difference. But no, they hold up just fine in the wash. So yes, ARB and Blanks Boutique, and then I know AJ Blanks, I've heard a lot of good things about them. So all right, so now we have the shirt, and let me see, my tripod got shorter. I don't know how. But I'm gonna point the camera down at the shirt so you could see what I'm doing. All right, so here's the shirt. I'm gonna iron it really quick. Get it, any wrinkles out. Okay, so only thing I don't like with these shirts is they have these gathers at the top that sometimes make it hard to hoop or get nice and flat. Okay, so I'm gonna smooth it out, and then I'm gonna take the grid that comes with the hoop, and I'm gonna place it on the shirt where I want the design. A lot of people ask about placement. I think toddler shirts are pretty easy with placement. You know, obviously in the middle of the shirt. So this is 11.5, so 5 3/4 is the middle. And then usually 1 to 2 inches from the top is where you want the top of the design. With these shirts, it's a little harder for me. If you're floating the shirt onto the hoop, then you can put it closer. But because I like to hoop my shirts, and I'll show you why in a minute, I just get them as close as I can. So this is about 2 inches from the collar, which is a little low, but I'm gonna try and go as close to the collar as I can. So then I just make sure that's in the middle. And then once I get it where I want it, I use a disappearing ink fabric marker. And this is from Dritz, and this is in my list of supplies, which I'll show you later. But in the hoop, there's these little cutout circles, and I just put the marker in those cutout circles. And then it leaves me with these dots on top of the shirt, if you could see that. So now I'm gonna take my ruler and here's one. Draw some crosshairs. And if y'all have a question, and I'm sorry I'm not always looking at the screen, if I don't answer it, just ask again. Or maybe when we're done with the video and I'm sitting at the computer, I could scroll back up and answer questions. Okay, so now I got my placement marks on there, you can see. So I'm gonna turn the shirt inside out, and now we're gonna add stabilizer. So, because this shirt is a little on the thinner side, I add 2 layers of stabilizer. I add poly mesh, which is a cutaway. I always recommend using a cutaway on anything you wear. This is regular heavyweight cutaway. This works fine, and it probably would work fine on this shirt because it's not white and it wouldn't be see-through. But on white shirts, I definitely don't like to use this because you can see it through the shirt usually. The poly mesh is no-show, and it's a lot thinner and more flexible. But because it is a little thinner, I pair it with a layer of tearaway, which I'll show you in a second. So because I can't see through the shirt, I usually see my marks. But I am going to cut a piece of stabilizer that is just a little bit bigger than my sewing field. The sewing field is what you see in the grid. This piece, because I'm doing 2 layers, this piece doesn't need to be bigger than the hoop, but the next piece is going to be bigger. So I just need to make sure I'm putting it right over my placement marks. Ooh, sorry, Elisa's being a little extra tonight. She's usually pretty good for my lives and plays and is excited, but she's excited. She's even more excited tonight because she's been by her grandma, and so she's just excited to be home. So, okay, I think that's in the place. So I'm gonna iron that down. This is fusible poly mesh. So I like ironing on my stabilizer because it keeps the shirt from shifting in the hoop. Okay, so that's down. Now I'm gonna put a layer of tearaway on top. And now this piece is gonna be bigger than my hoop. So I'm gonna use my hoop as a guide. Get some more. Okay. And just kind of center it on top of your poly mesh. Let's see, someone said cutaway is soft. Yeah, cutaway is soft after you wash it a few times. But like I said, I could have used cutaway on this shirt and then it just would have been the one layer because it's not as see-through. Okay. And I'm so used to doing this, so in case you're using a white shirt, you could see this method. So now I got 2 layers of stabilizer, and I'm gonna turn the shirt inside out. Like that. And now I'm gonna take my bottom hoop, make sure it's loose, and put it in the shirt, kind of guessing where it needs to be. So I could already see the collar is gonna get, I might just make it. I did a shirt earlier today where the collar was right in the way. All right, now I'm gonna take the top hoop, I'm gonna snap my grid into place. So you'll notice with the hoops, they have a little tiny arrow at the top. You know, make sure that the outer hoop, you see the little arrow so you know everything's in the right orientation. Somebody was talking about Tender Touch. Yes, we're gonna put Tender Touch on when we're done with the shirt. All right, so now I have the placement marks on my shirt and I'm in the crosshairs, and I'm gonna line that up with this before I press the hoop down. So it's kind of hard for me to show you without y'all being right on top of me. But I'm just looking and moving things around until my placement marks line up nicely. In the hoop. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're just trying to get it as much as you can. It's like I find this is a little crooked. Okay, that looks good. And then once you get it where you want, just push down. And because this collar has this gathered top, I'm trying to pull this at the same time. Okay. Y'all see that? So I have it almost right there. So now I take the grid off, and now I have this. And so I'm going to tighten this up. It's a little loose. Okay. So once that is done, it should be kind of taut. It's not that taut today, but that's good. All right. Once that is there, then the last thing I do before I start stitching is I put some water-soluble topper. Some people only use this for towels and blankets, things that are plush. I think it really makes a difference on shirts too, especially on the PE 800, PE 770. Maybe on the nicer multi-needle machines, they stitch a little bit nicer, but on my machine, this makes a difference. It makes it look like the thread is not sinking into the fabric and doesn't look like kind of, especially like satin stitches, it doesn't look feathered on the ends when you have this on it. So I just pin it, and I try to put my pins outside of the what's going to be the sewing field. So I know with this dot, that's the top of the sewing field. So I try to put my pin a little bit above it. So I don't want my needle on my embroidery machine to hit that pin on accident. So I'll make sure it's out of the way. Alright, so now the shirt is hooped, but we have to turn it inside out. So this is one of the reasons why I like to hoop my shirts, because instead of doing this at the machine and trying to keep it open, I actually tape it out of the way. And when I float a shirt, I can't exactly do this because I'm really like, I really pull on the shirt when I tape it. I mean, some things I float all the time, but if I can hoop this, so what I'm going to do is roll it as much as I can, like this. And then I'm going to put this end of the tape as close to the top of the shirt as possible. And then I'm going to take and pull, and I tape it, I don't know if you could see, right to the back side of the hoop. So make sure I don't, my tape is not long enough. Make sure I don't tape any of the shirt itself to the back of the hoop. I usually have a little bit more tape back there. You can see right there. So that gets that corner out the way. And then I do the same to the other corner. And my tape is old. It doesn't tear good. Make this piece a little longer. So, and they have lots of contraptions and things out there to help you keep the extra material out of the way. Usually with these bigger kid shirts, it's not as bad. This definitely can be done without having to tape it back. This is just a preference for me. It's where I'm not as paranoid about keeping my eye on everything while it is stitching. So you just want to make sure the tape doesn't go like into the embroidery field in the back, so that your needle's not going through and it won't gum it up. I don't think it will there. So you see how nice that keeps the material out of the way? And then I can do one down here too. So this is just my little weird way of keeping all of the material out of the way while I'm sewing. So now I'm ready to go over to the machine and start stitching. So that's my crazy hooping method. All right, so let's go over here. And there goes my tripod, trying to get shorter. Okay. Sorry, I'm not a good camera person. I can't get this thing to stay. Okay, so because I have all this bulkiness, I'm so sorry. Okay, because I have all of this bulkiness, it's hard to like slide this in under the needle. So I'm gonna go in on the back side of the machine and slide it right here where it's nice and thin. I know y'all are laughing y'all butts off at me right now. I was like, I've done a few Facebook lives, and you know, I was really nervous about doing it at first because like I'm gonna look like an idiot. And this thing is just really, maybe I'm turning it the wrong way. That's why. Maybe that would help if I actually turned it the direction it's supposed to go. Okay. All right, so give me one more wobbly camera moment. Let me put this back on this holder thing. I think the problem, it doesn't like my, what you call the pop socket thing on the back. Okay. All right, and let me look at my computer real quick because I'm not, I see the comments like they flash on for just a second and I don't have time to read them. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the back side of the machine, slide that on. Oh wait, let me turn it on first. Okay, I'm gonna turn you on, turn on the computer. Okay, let's go here. All right. Okay. Monica said she'll have to use the tape. Yeah, I love masking tape. I use it for all kinds of stuff. So, oh, thank you for the reminder, Wendy. I need to have a few sips or gulps of my Malibu drink thing that I have, and that might calm me down. Okay. All right. All right, we were looking, I was waiting for people were talking about the stabilizers. Okay, so somebody asked if the stabilizer would irritate the skin, and that's where somebody mentioned the Tender Touch, and that we'll iron that on the shirt when we're done, and that helps protect the skin and the threads from irritating the kid's skin. Okay. Oh, here comes Elise. She's back. Let's see if she calmed down a little bit. It's Daddy. All right, are you gonna be a good girl this time? You're not gonna knock my phone over?
Well, you okay with it here, baby?
If she be's good.
Baby, you okay with it on here?
If she's a good girl.
All right, let me know.
Okay.
Hit me up. Shout out.
All right. So.
Mommy,
What, baby?
I want your iPad, please.
Yes, you can watch my iPad. That's what I forgot. She usually watches my iPad while I'm doing this, and that keeps her occupied. What was I thinking? Okay, watch Mommy's phone. You see the stick Mommy's phone's on? Don't knock it over.
Hi.
Oh, wait. Okay, I'm going to show everybody.
That's bloopies. I
Okay,
want
look.
one.
Say hi.
Mom, this is what I want.
Oh, you want that? Okay, tell my friends hi.
Hi. Hi.
Okay, now go watch your iPad. Okay. All right, there you go. Go find a spot to sit down. Go find a spot to sit down. I have to turn it down a little bit. Okay.
Bees. Blue bees.
Blue bees. Okay, hold my puppy. Okay. All right, I totally forgot that she usually watches my iPad. Okay, so
Bees. Blue bees.
all right. So, oh, Monica, you sipping on gumbo? I want some gumbo. All right. Okay, so let's get started because this is going to be a 3-hour project the way I'm going. Okay, I turned my machine on. Gotta tell me my carriage will move. All right, I'm gonna slide in through the back so it goes under the needle very easily and clamp her on and lift it up, make sure. So you see how nicely like everything is pulled out the way? The only thing you gotta watch is like all of this. So the needle can only go in this area, but like when you get here, if you can see, if you get here, please don't fall. All of this stuff is gonna go past this dot. So sometimes I have to watch and like I'll pull it over like this to make sure all of this stuff is not, it's okay if it hits it because it's soft, but just to try to keep things out the way. Or sometimes like way up here, I might have to roll things back. So you just gotta keep an eye on things. Okay, so all right, so Monica said the water-soluble topper looks thicker. I don't know. I used the World Winder brand. Let me go ahead and link all my stuff real quick. I don't know where it is. Here we go. Lisa, you gotta turn it down, baby. Okay, so here's the link to all my supplies. All right, and now let's pull up Embroidery. So I got the design here. I'm gonna save it as a stitch file. So I just go to File, Save Stitch File As, Erase School, and then I'm gonna save it to my, here. Lacey. Okay. All right.
I can't hear it.
Yes, you can. All right. So, Lacey, you want to go sit with Daddy? Right there. Right there. Go sit with Daddy then if you want it louder. Okay. So, I think I saved it. Elise School, yeah, it's there. So I'm gonna eject my flash drive, put it in here, and then find the design. So this is where, the PE 800 is a lot nicer. So I have this black and white screen, grayscale screen, if you can see. It's really hard to tell what the designs are on here, but after years of practice, I could spot things pretty quickly. All right, here we go. This looks like a sheet of paper. Okay, so one of the other tricks I wanted to tell y'all about Appliqué. One of the things I do personally is I stitch out all of my placement stitches first. And that way I'm going and cutting all my fabric, and I put heat and bond on back of all the fabric, and I do all that at the same time. So it may not make sense because some of it I'm gonna have to re-stitch later, but for me, that's what I like to do. That makes it easier for me to just go cut all my fabric at the same time. So let's see, what do I have on here? I'm going to not use black for all my stuff. So with Appliqué, you have 3 stitches. You have your placement stitch is going to show you where to put your fabric. You have the tack down stitch, which puts on your fabric, and then you trim it, and then your finishing stitch, which today is going to be satin stitch. I saw someone just ask about bobbins. No, this machine doesn't take the magnetic bobbins. The bigger machines do. So like I have the Persona, that one takes the magnetic bobbins, but the PE 800, I have a link. If you look at that link I did a few minutes ago, they have a link to the pre-wound bobbins I use, which are these. And you get a big old box of them. But these aren't magnetic. They're just plain old clear plastic bobbins, but they're already wound up. But yeah, there's a link to that in the supply list. Okay, so let's do, usually for all the placements and tack downs, I use a color that I don't use very often, but then it could literally be bright color, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna use this creamy color I hardly ever use. So I'm gonna put that on there. All right. Can y'all hear me over my child's iPad? Because it sounds really loud to me. Okay, so, Monica, I know, girl, Amazon and me have a love-hate relationship. Okay, so, all right, thank you, Brenda. It's not too loud. Okay, so this is about to be a lot louder, so it's okay. All right, so I'm going to stitch the placement stitches. Okay, so this is the placement stitch for the paper. So I'm just watching this. Okay, it got a little hitting this right here, and I think it might have even didn't stitch in the right place because of it, but it's okay. I'll make the thing a little bit bigger. Okay, so that's the placement stitch for the paper. Now I'm gonna use the plus and minus buttons. No, so Carol just asked if I did it in Embroidery where I made all the placement stitches first. No, I'm just using the plus and minus buttons on my machine. So on my machine, it looks like a little needle with a minus and a plus. I click that. The spool, it looks like a thread spool with the minus and the plus. That's to jump ahead steps, and the needle is to jump ahead individual stitches. So I'm using the plus and minus spools, if you could see that. To jump ahead steps until I see the placement stitch for the E. Oh God. Okay, let's see. This way. Y'all, guess what Carly's doing as soon as this video is over? Anybody got a recommendation for a good phone tripod? Oh my goodness gracious. This is ridiculous. I didn't even touch it. It just went berserk by itself. It doesn't like... I have to put it all the way on the end. It doesn't like my little pop socket thing on the back. Okay. All right. Oh, God. I'm glad I'm making y'all evening. I promise I'm not drunk. I think my tripod is, though. Oh. And we got shorter. How do I get taller? There we go. This way. Tighten, Carly. Tighten. Crappy tripod. Sorry. Okay, wait. Okay, and y'all get to listen to, yeah, more sipping. More sipping. Y'all get to listen to JoJo Siwa in the background. All right, now I'm gonna stitch the placement for the E. So this is gonna be something I'm gonna have to stitch again, but I wanna do it now so I can cut the fabric out. That's gonna make her go. It's too loud in here for her now. Okay, so the E is done. And now I'm gonna jump for the pencil. And I gotta be careful because the pencil is gonna be all the way over here. So I wanna make sure my fabric's out the way. what is that? So another good thing, it's really hard to tell sometimes what this picture is on here. So that's why I have my laptop open right next to it. And I go on my Embroidery Essentials and look at each step. Okay, so the next step is the eraser. It's just hard to tell. All right. Okay. And then the last piece is the tip of the pencil, like the wood section of the pencil, which I wish that would just be a fill stitch. But they want it to be applique still. Applique. Okay, so now taking it off the machine. We'll let it through the back. Okay, and now we'll go back to the craft table so you could see it did all the placement stitches. And now I'm gonna get all my applique pieces ready. I'm sorry, I'm short again. Okay. Oh right, I just saw somebody wrote something. Okay, Carly and Brilliance had to tell you which is the tack down stitches. So doesn't Brilliance tell you? Not really. It depends on the design. So like I was playing with another design today. I think it was from Lenny Penny. When I opened it in Brilliance, it was already like labeled as applique position, applique material. That's the Embrilliance version of placement stitch, tack down stitch. So some designers design it so when you open it in Essentials, it will say that already, but most of them don't. So you just see two stitches back to back that are different colors but look exactly the same. You'll know the first stitch is the placement, the second stitch is the tack down. So that's how this design looks. I'm pretty sure they don't have it labeled, but I'll double check. Okay, so let's get going. So now we're going to cut all of our pieces of fabric to fit into all of these areas. So I'm going to cut a white piece big enough for this, the pink for the E, the yellow for the pencil, the eraser, and here. So I'm just going to cut pieces big enough of what I need. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Alrighty then. I love this fabric. It's so pretty. My friend's mom gave it to me. But you could tell like it's really nice quality quilting fabric. Okay, so I'm gonna cut a piece a little bit bigger than what I need. And usually what I do is I hold it over the design. And like this has the selvage in, so I don't want that. So I'm just gonna go make, pretend like the fabric actually ended here. And I'm just gonna do a little snip right there. That looks like how wide I need. And then I'm gonna come over here and do a little snip about how tall I need. And now I cut my rectangle. So all of my applique fabric, I usually only buy fabric in a 1/4 yard. And then I just fold it up and I put them in these little baskets in this table. And so with applique, you're always using like, strange size pieces or just a little bit. So I just cut, what I need. And I have a whole array of fabric, but it's all only a 1/4 yard. Okay, so that's going to be my paper. All right, my E is going to be this pink. And I love this one. I just got this one from All Stitched Up by Angela. Super cute. It came in a little fat quarter bundle. So this is a fat quarter. It's a 1/4 yard, but it's in a rectangle rather than a strip. So I'm gonna cut a piece just big enough for the E. That's how wide. And that's how long. So y'all see what I mean now, why I cut all my placement stitches first. So that I can do this step all at one time. And this is just my preference. You do whatever you want. Some people will just like get a big piece of fabric and put a big piece of heat and bond on the back. but I do different things every time I make something pretty much. So I just do it this way. All right, so this is for the tip of the pencil. So it's just this is a little tiny square. Cover that. This is for the yellow, for the pencil. So, okay. All right, that's the yellow. What we have left? Just the pink for the eraser. Oh, Carol, you back at school? Yeah, I think I saw a picture of you in what looked like a classroom. I know my kids, my older daughter is going to start on Tuesday or Wednesday. I need to figure that out. And then Elise starts the following week for pre-K. All right, so I got all my pieces of applique cut out. So these are all my little pieces. But I'm going to put heat and bond on the back of all of these. And heat and bond really helps the appliques from not, what's the word I'm looking for, like puckering, or let me show you a shirt. So this is the kind of shirt she wanted, but I already used this shirt. So once the fabric, and after you wash it, you don't want this fabric to like pucker out from the t-shirt fabric that's behind it. So when you use heat and bond, it adheres the back of the applique fabric to the t-shirt material and will prevent that from happening. So that's why we use heat and bond. Okay, so now I'm going to cut a piece of heat and bond that's the same size as each piece of fabric. I know all of this is a little bit tedious, but this is really what makes it come out nice. And now maybe I'll see like why I wanted to do all this in one step. So that's that. Little tiny pieces. That would be good for this. I'm sorry, I'm not being good at answering questions tonight because I can't keep up with looking at the screen and with my pink. Ah, I already lost a piece. My eraser. All right, anybody see? There it is. Piece of pink. Okay. Ah, don't drop the scissors on my foot. That would be bad. All right. So got that. Now we could do the yellow. You don't want the heat and bond to be bigger than your material because then it's going to either mess up your iron or it's going to get stuck to your ironing board. So I always like to make it a little bit smaller than the material. Okay, done with that. So sorry I picked a complicated applique project to do tonight. I couldn't just pick one piece of applique. No, I had to pick 5 pieces of applique. But you get the idea. My iron's not hot. Get hot iron. Okay. So just turn everything over. And iron the heat and bond on the back. Almost done. Okay. So, once you have your heat and bond on the back of all of your pieces and they cool off, then you just peel the paper and now you're left with this shiny adhesive now on the back of your fabric. So, do that for all the pieces. Just peel it off. Okay, that's it. So now we have all of our 5 applique pieces ready. And we need the shirt. And now go back to the, who is at my house? Somebody's here. All right. So put the shirt back on. Make sure it's on there good. And now we're gonna go all the way back to the beginning of the steps and do the applique of the, what's gonna be the notebook, the loose leaf. And see, this is where kind of didn't, so some people this might not make sense that I did the placement stitches, because now I won't see them anymore because I'm going to cover them up with the white. So I know it may not make sense to some people, but for me that's just to, so I got all this cut and I'm ready to go. All right, so this was a salvage piece of the material. I don't want that to be on my shirt. I'll cut that off. All right, so I'm just going to put this directly on top of the placement stitches, and you basically want it to where you can't see any stitches. And something else that you can do if you're worried about this fabric shifting around while it's stitching is you can spray a little bit spray adhesive on the back of this. But I don't think this piece is really going to move. So, but I do need to pay attention to this corner this time because last time it hit it. All right, so I think I'm ready to start stitching. Presser foot down, and this is a tack down stitch, so again it doesn't matter what color thread you're using. All right. Presser foot up. I could technically wait to trim that, but I'll go ahead and trim it. All right, so I'm gonna take this off, and now trimming. So it did the outline of the notebook paper, you can see. So now I'm just gonna trim the excess fabric off, and I use these tweezer applique scissors that are listed on that blog post link I linked a while back. So basically you just want to get as close to the stitches as you can without snipping them. And some of the spots might be a little awkward to get with the shirt being bulked up around it. But basically you could just lift this, is what I do. I just lift it and make sure the scissors right underneath it. My tape came undone. Okay. Okay, so here's my notebook fabric. And I wonder if I could pull this a little bit more. And just make sure the tape doesn't go where the threads are. Okay, so I pulled that a little bit more out of the way. Alright, so now, I think these were some colors I didn't think about. Now it's going to do the lines of the paper. And I think I need like a light blue. Maybe this one, like a baby blue. Alright, so yeah, so I'm going to do like this baby blue color. Something we were talking about in the group the other day is when you're changing your thread colors, I asked somebody, do they just pull it out from the top or do they pull it through at the needle? And so I cut my thread right here and I pull it through the needle. So you're with this machine, you don't, with any, I think, embroidery machine, you don't want to pull the thread the opposite way of the thread path. You always want it to go this way because there is like a little, it almost looks like a little lint brush that is supposed to help catch things, and you don't want to pull it backwards and it catch on it that way. So always pull your thread the right way through the thread path. And then over here you see I'm using a thread stand. I don't like to put my thread here. I like to put it on the thread stand. I find it helps with tension issues that can happen when it's here. All right. Let's see. I can't thread the needle when it's over there because the shirt is in the way. So I just, whenever you change a step, it automatically goes back to the center. But now I'm gonna go, and then it's gonna go right back to that spot. See, like that. So now it's just gonna do the lines. Sorry, let me answer some questions now, if you can hear me, over the machine gun sound of the machine. So, Kelsey asks, can you see the tack down stitch if you're doing something that's not a satin stitch? So satin stitch, it really helps cover any thread that you use for placement or for tack down. But if you're doing a beam finish stitch or a zigzag or a blanket, something vintagey looking where you have a rough edge of the fabric, then yes, sometimes you can see the tack down stitch. So that's when you want to pay attention to your thread colors and maybe use the same thread color as you would for your finishing stitch. Alright, Terry X, do I pre-wash applique fabric? No, I don't. I don't pre-wash my shirts. I don't pre-wash my applique fabric. The only thing I pre-wash if I'm doing one of those waffle weave dish towels because those like shrink tremendously in the wash. I did a couple of those and then I washed them and it all shrinked up. But no, everything else I don't pre-wash. Okay, Valerie X, what happens if the shirt pops out of the hoop? That's usually a problem. If I could usually fix things, but alignment gets messed up when the shirt pops out the hoop. Your best bet if that happens is if you still have your placement marks on the shirt, you can try to re-hoop it, using those placement marks you've already made in your grid and try and get it back right where it was. But that's usually kind of hard. Ashley's talking about thread. Yeah, you really want to pay attention and pull it through the needle and not backwards. Okay. All right. Any other questions I missed? Let's see. We're talking about the baby iron. Yes, we're going to use the baby iron. Let me see if I have a link for the baby iron. Link the baby iron. So we're going to use that in a minute. I didn't use it on this piece, but for the other pieces I will. This piece has a lot of stitches going in between it, so it really doesn't need it. So it's doing all the notebook lines. I remember the first time we did a live and the first project, and we turned the machine on, and everybody that like maybe they had ordered a machine and it hadn't come in yet, or they were thinking about ordering the machine, and as soon as they heard that, they were like, oh my God, it's so loud. So we were talking about how we were going to put our husbands in the garage. They're going to have to put them to sleep in the garage at night because we're going to keep them up all night with our crafting and our loudness. It was so funny. Okay. Con said asking for the design link. Yes. I have it here. All right. Here is the design link again. Okie dokie. So what step is next? It is the pink one line going down on the, where's my light pink? Here we go. The pink going down the side of the notebook. So I'm gonna lift my presser foot, cut my thread, pull it through, load my pink. Something, so like I'm not too prepared tonight, but sometimes when I'm doing a design, I'll, look at it in Brilliance to see what all the steps are, and then I'll line up my threads in front of my machine in the order of the steps, so then I'm not keep guessing, what design is next and looking for it. Come on, thread. All right, I'm gonna move because I can't thread it when it's in that corner. Okay. So now we'll do the pink line going down the notebook. All right. Hi, Jenny. You want to know what you missed? You missed me dropping the phone like 5 times. You missed a lot of mistakes. That's what y'all missed tonight. Okay. All right, Monica said stitching all of the placement stitches first. The fabric will be laid on top of each other, right? Yes, so that's why, like, I know some people are probably, you know, that's been doing this a while might be like, well, you're going to have to redo your placement stitches because now your fabric's on top of it. So that is something. So, like, okay, let me do the next step first. So the next step is the satin stitch of the notebook paper. So I'm going to do white. And when that's done, it's going to be time to do the E. But now we can't see the E anymore because the white fabric is on top of the stitches I did before. But I'm just going to restitch them. It only takes a second. It doesn't hurt anything to restitch them. But I already have my E fabric cut out and ready to go. All right, let me get this going and then I'll answer your questions. Okay, wait, I'm going to do this corner. Starting with the underlaying stitch of the, wait, I might have just, it's doing the underlay stitch for the satin stitch now. Keep moving the shirt out of the way. I heard something. I think it just got caught up. So that's another thing you want to be quick about. Like as soon as you hear something that sounds wrong, hurry and press that button. Machine will stop. So I'm having issues here where my tape has come undone. So I'm going to tape that back. Get that out the way good. Okay. I think it just had a little hiccup right here, but nothing that messed anything up. Okay, so now it's going to go and do the slower satin stitch. Okay, so somebody had a question about if I do the placement stitch, is that making more holes in the shirt? Not that I think you need to be worried about it. All it's going to do is stitch over where the previous stitch was. I mean, that might be adding a tiny, hold on, let me pull this. So I don't want to stick my fingers in there while it's doing it, so I'm going to do this. So I paused it and then pulled it away. Back end of the presser foot is hitting this corner bulk of fabric. Okay, so now I can let it go. I got a little piece of thread right there. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing. When it gets to this corner, I'm going to pause it, pull that out the way good, and make sure it's not, the presser foot's not hitting it. So yeah, as far as doing the placement stitch twice, I haven't had any trouble with it. It's not making any noticeable holes in the shirt. It's not really adding any bulk to the thickness of the shirt with all the layers of thread and fabric. So for me personally, no, it's not been a problem. But if it's something that you worry about, then just do it in the order the design is made. You know, do this applique, then when that's done, wait and do your placement stitch of this, and And then when that's done, wait and do your placement stitch of the others. Not all the time is all the applique overlapping, so then it's really easy to do all the placement stitches. Not many designs have it to where all the appliques are overlapping. Okay, I'm just pulling this, and I'm gonna hold it while it's stitching this corner. Okay, Valerie asked if I'm gonna do a live with my new machine. Yes, I do plan on it. I wanted my first live for YouTube to be something that on a machine that most people have, and with a project that most people like to do applique or have questions about applique. But yes, I definitely do plan on doing some lives and tutorials with the new machine. Okay, so a journey of random musing. So my new machine is the Brother Persona, and it's still a single needle machine, but it's built like a multi-needle, and it has a lot more flexibility with it. For one thing, I don't have to worry about taping my shirt out the way when I'm stitching it, because I'll show you when I'm not so scared. See, like this machine, you have to babysit. You have to sit here and make sure I don't actually stitch this shirt on top of the design. You know, the side of the shirt can easily get caught up in the needle. Like right now, all my water-soluble topper is getting caught in with the satin stitches. All the edge of the water-soluble topper was right on the end of the satin stitch, and it was pulling it in under the satin stitch, where the outer edge wasn't even going through the water-soluble topper. So we'll see if that edge looks a little different. The topper really does help. Okay, I trust you not to mess up right now. Okay, the new machine has this free arm, and so when I put a shirt on it, I think I'll show you. So pretend this shirt was in a hoop and it was hooped. I could slide the hoop into the machine like this, where the bottom of the shirt is hanging underneath the arm. So I don't have to worry about keeping all this material out the way. I can just do, and it moves around and stitches it. So that's the really nice thing about the new machine, along with a bunch of other things. Like now I can do bags a lot easier. I can do, like I have a whole bunch of school bags and lunch kits I need to get done. And I could do school bags on here, but I couldn't do them if like a name on a pocket. For instance, it had to be like a big zippered flap that I could put all the bag on the outside and lay that flat on the hoop. Then you can do a school bag, but lots of scenarios you couldn't. So okay. Sorry, I'm looking at questions now. Previously asked, where did I get the cute sewing machine USB? I got it from Kin's Sewing Center. I think that's the name of it. They don't sell it anymore though. I did find a cute one on Amazon that's similar, but it's not as cute because, so like this one is all one piece. The one I found on Amazon is, imagine this was inside of here and you pulled it out, and so that's the only part you plug in the machine. Like the sewing machine part is just like a plastic piece you slide to hold your USB when you're not using it, so it's not as cute. But I haven't found one like this again, but if I do, I will show y'all definitely. Okay, so we're done with the outline of the paper. Y'all can see. We're done with the satin stitch of the paper, so now it's time to do the E. But I can't see the E no more, so I am gonna go ahead and put my pink thread on. and I'll do the placement and tack down so it's all the same color as what the satin stitch is going to be. Okay, so now we'll do the oh, I did look at Smart Needle for the first time the other day. Carol showed it to me, and they did have cute stuff. I didn't look at their USBs. That would probably be a place that had it. Why did I do that? I didn't need to do that. You see, y'all? I'm crazy. I just unthreaded the machine, but I'm keeping this thread. Okay. Ah. Okay, it's threaded. Okay, so now I got my placement stitch for the E again. And I got my material already. So now I'm just going to place it right on top and start stitching. So now after this one, please don't let me forget, I'm going to go to, I must pause this. It's got this big tail. I don't want it to get all caught up. Okay. After this is done with the tack down stitch and I trim it, I want to go iron it with my little baby iron. Okay. This is a step I always forget that I want to do until it's too late. So after I trim this, don't let me forget, go iron it down. Okay. So y'all can watch me trim this. I could hear Elise watching the iPad, and she is downstairs. And I am upstairs, and I could still hear the iPad. That's how loud she has it. Okay. So, does everybody have the best pair of scissors ever? I know everybody that anytime I show a video using these scissors, everybody asks, where did you get those scissors? And I don't remember who told me to buy them to begin with. I think I just saw somebody use them somewhere, and I just remember they look like tweezers, so I just did a search for tweezer scissors, and I found these on Amazon, and I love them. I just bought a new pair, actually. So the pair with the tape is my newer one, so I really try to only use these for cut and jump stitches and trimming applique. And then I got my old pair over on my other craft table for cutting whatever, mostly thread, but sometimes, oh, like today I did a piece that had, instead of fabric for the applique, I used something called embroidery vinyl, and it's thick and it is real heavy glitter, and it had a canvas back. So I didn't want to take the chance of dulling these scissors, so I used my old scissors to trim that applique. But I mean, these scissors last, I mean, I just bought the second pair, so I've been having them for what, 7 years? So that's pretty good. Most people probably think I'm crazy because they buy new scissors all the time. I don't. Okay, so look how cute that he is. So cute. I love this pink fabric. It's my favorite. Okay, so now it's going to do the satin stitch for the E. And so this is right in the middle. Oh wait, shit. I'm forgetting to iron it. You see? I told you. All right, I'm gonna hit cut. I told y'all, I always forget. Okay. Let me cut that little stitch I started. I don't think it needs it, but let's go do it anyway. So what I do, just to be safe, I use a piece of parchment paper. Can y'all see? I use a piece of parchment paper just to protect. Oh, I don't have my little iron plugged in. Plug her in. Okay, let her warm up for a second. So let me look back and see what I missed. Anything? Okay. I love my shopping coming to me instead of having to go to the store. Yes, I am an Amazon woman too, Carol. Oh, All Stitch has the scissors too. Okay. iPads are great babysitters. Yes, they are. Where do I get my material for Appliqué? Everywhere. So I told you, I'll put a link for this after, but this is a new store I recently discovered, and it's local here in New Orleans, but they have a website to where you can order. And she has adorable fat quarter bundles with like and it's like, it's really tailored to people who applique. I find like the choices of the pattern of the material, they're small and coordinating and really cute. And that is called All Stitched Up by Angela, and I'll put the link when I'm done. That's my new favorite place. Then there's Hobby Lobby. Before the pandemic, Walmart had fabric. Joann's. I bought fabric off of Etsy before. I bought fabric from fabric.com. And oh, there's another fabric store that is really good. It's based in Alabama. It's called TJ's Fabric. And that's a really good store too. Okay, so I got my little mini iron turned on. And this fits right inside my hoop, you see? And I am ironing my applique before I do the satin stitch. And I know I didn't do this with the white one, but I'm gonna try and remember to do this with all the other pieces. So that's it. So now the pink is really on there, so if it did have any extra, if it wasn't super flat before, it's ironed down now and pushed flat, so when it does that satin stitch, it's going to pull it and keep it nice and flat against the t-shirt fabric, so it won't, and then we'll iron it again when we're done, but it won't pucker from the shirt after we wash it. Okay, I'm so worried about the phone falling off the tripod again. I'm trying to be as gentle as possible. Okay, so now we're doing the satin stitch for the E. I'm gonna stop. I keep getting these tails. It doesn't pull it all in when it's done. When it starts stitching, they still have like a long piece of thread coming out. So I'll hurry and cut that. Let's see. Lost a piece of my applique fabric. I lost the pencil. I don't know where it went. Oh, guys, it's such a good night. I lost the applique pencil, the material for the pencil. I got the pink, I got the tan, I lost the yellow. Oh, such a good instructor, guys. Okay, It was here. Ah, it went behind the machine. Okay, I found it. It went behind the machine. I don't know how we got back there. I must have when I moved the hoop, it went back there. Okay, don't lose this. Stay. Alright. Okay, Mary Kay asks if I made the pad, my ironing pad. Yes, I made that. That is super simple project. All it was is a piece of plywood. I just had a scrap piece of plywood in the garage. I asked my husband to make me a square. And I then wrapped it in an old towel, and I used a staple gun. And then I wrapped it in a piece of ironing board fabric. I think I have some somewhere, but it's like heat resistant fabric I got from Joann's. Stapled that, and then I wrapped it in my pretty rainbow fabric and stapled it on the back. So it's just, I mean, I use the iron all the time, and I didn't want to pull out a giant ironing board, so I thought, you know, I only need a little small space to iron what I'm doing. So I thought it would be a good idea to just make a little one to keep on the table all the time. And then when it, you know, if I do need a super flat surface, I can just throw it on the ground and get rid of it. Okay. Okay. Bertha says Lisa Shaw will make you YouTube videos to show you how to use it with your Embroidery software. Yeah, I love Lisa Shaw. She is awesome. Well, I've missed the question though that we were asking about. Let's see. Ooh, Eartha said she watched a video from Sewing Machines Plus. I missed it the other day. They did do a live video with Durkee. So they say Durkee is coming out with a larger hoop for my persona, and it will stitch 8x14. Yeah, buddy. Use it like a repositionable hoop. Ooh, that's fancy. I'm gonna look into that. Hancock's, Carol said, is a store. We used to have a Hancock's fabric here in New Orleans, and they shut down, and then they opened up a Joann's 2 doors down. Okay, I think I'm caught up. Is there any questions that I missed from earlier? So we're doing the satin stitch. I'm sorry, this is like the longest project ever. Of course, I picked the most complicated one. I was looking for something simple to do. Let's see. Joy in a bent Q foot. I don't know what a Q foot is. I know that's not the embroidery foot, right? I think the embroidery foot is just called the embroidery foot. I know with my sewing machine, it came with several feet, and each one had a different letter, but I'm not familiar with all of them. Carol's, I think, the local in-house sewing expert in here. Q-foot is embroidery. Okay. No, yeah, if your foot is bent, then Q-foot is with the NS 1150E. Okay, I'm not familiar with that machine, Joy, but I would imagine if your foot is bent, then you need a new one. I don't think there's any adjusting that. Wait, somebody asked another question. Would it be easier to cut the applique with the Cricut or a silhouette machine? Yes, I have done that before. I personally find it takes more time. So to me, it's only helpful when it's a really intricate applique with lots of little corners or grooves or pieces close together. Like I did a few weeks back, I did a live where I did Elise's name on a dress, but I did it as a beam stitch applique, so the edges of the fabric went outside of the beam stitch, and so I had a raw edge. A beam stitch is a straight stitch. So, oh, I made something. Let me see. I made this. I'm supposed to do a blog post with it, but I know it's all backwards because we're in selfie mode here. But a bean stitch looks like that. It's like a straight stitch, and it does actually 3 times back and forth, and then it goes on 3 times back and forth, and then it goes on 3 times back and forth. So if you could tell, that's what it is. Oh, it's not backwards. It's backwards for me. Okay, and then that's a zigzag stitch. My satin stitch looks really bad. I digitized this myself, and I did not do a good job. A blanket stitch and a sketch stitch. So I made this, and I want to do a blog post telling you about the different stitches. And I digitized this myself on Stitch Artist, but I need to do a better job. I'm still learning. But yeah, that's what a bean stitch is. So so I was doing an applique that was a bean stitch, so that the edge of the fabric stuck out on the outside of the bean stitch. And I had to cut, and the letters were kind of close together, and I had to cut the applique, and I wanted it to be like, you know, 1/4 of an inch outside of the bean stitch, and that was tedious. And when I was done, I wish I would have cut it out on my silhouette machine, so then it just would have been perfect, and I just would have put it on there, and it would have been done already, and I wouldn't have had to cut anything. So it depends on the project. Let's see. T equals Terry. Hi, Terry. Okay, so we're done with the E. Look how pretty. Can y'all see? All right. So now, I'm so scared this thing is gonna fall. Okay. The next step is, if we want to, it's going to do actually a bean stitch right in the middle of the satin stitch, and give it like it almost looks like a dashed line. That would be a good way to put it. It's going to do a bean stitch right in the middle of the pink satin stitch, and gives it a nice little finish. See, I still got this tail poking up, so I'm going to pause and cut this tail. Okay. All right. So yeah, now it's going to do the bean stitch. So, it looks real cute. Oh, sorry. Again, I picked the longest project ever to do this live on. Did I miss any other questions? It's time for a sip. Whew. Joy. Okay. Oh, what software do I use? I use Embroidery Essentials. Here's a link to the software I use. And then I actually just wrote a blog post about it. So I'm bad about it too, and you'll hear a lot of other people like they just say Embroidery. I use Embroidery. I use Embroidery. Embroidery is the name of the platform. Then they have several programs that run under the Embroidery umbrella. And I use Essentials. And that's the one I recommended, and that's the one I just linked. That does everything that I need to do as far as editing, merging, adding a name, resizing a little bit. I do all that on the computer in Essentials. And then I also just purchased Stitch Artist, which is it's under Embroiance too, and that's their digitizing software. So that I made this, and I made another one. This is a design I was working on. I thought this was cute. I thought this would be cute, like on a little t-shirt as a pocket design or on a hat. But what is next? So yeah, Stitch Artist is the digitizing, and they have some other software too. And I wrote a blog post explaining all the different programs that they have, and I'll link that for you in a second too. All right, so I'm putting yellow on, and we're doing the pencil. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stitch the placement stitch. Okay. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so now I have my pencil. Let me go close my door because now my husband's a loud one. I could hear him talking on the phone from downstairs. Okay, so I'm putting my pencil applique fabric down and stitching. And I know I keep putting my hands in here. I promise you I'm not getting close to the needle. It's just a habit. I know it's a bad habit. And the way to prevent it is I should be spraying the back of this with the temporary spray adhesive, so then I could push it and it lies really fat. But when I don't do that, then it kind of comes up, and I like to, so like the last stitch was here, I like to push it as it gets to that, so that I get like almost like pushing the air out in between the two layers of fabric to get it as flat as possible, so there's not like it doesn't bulge up. But the heat and bond's gonna fix that anyway. So I don't know why I do it. It's a bad habit. Okay, so now I am going to trim that and then use my little iron. Okay. I am doing the blog post about Embroiance. Copy, paste. Okay, that's the blog post about Embroiance. What else I missed? What's the purpose of the heat and bond? So exactly that. Like, I don't want the fabric to pucker up and separate from the t-shirt material that's behind it, like after washing. So I put the heat and bond, and then I iron it, and that's going to keep it adhered. So in this case, the pink fabric is now adhered to the white, and now this yellow fabric is going to adhere to the white, and then, you know, the purple t-shirt material behind here. It just keeps the finished product looking much nicer, and especially after you wash it. Okay, so I got the yellow pencil, so I'm gonna go iron that real quick. Oh, you see? This stand does not like me. Okay. So, parchment paper, iron. Done. Okay. Okay, next is the eraser, and I actually still see I lost the piece. Where'd it go? I could still see the placement stitch of the eraser, so I don't need to redo it. But I lost my piece of pink fabric. Oh my goodness. I have to. Okay, where could you have gone? It's not under the machine. It's not behind the machine. It is stuck under the hoop. Right there. That's where it was. Guys. I have some sneaky fabric tonight. Sneaky. Okay, so I'm going to jump ahead a stitch because I don't need the placement stitch. I can already see. I am going to jump ahead one stitch because I want it to put my fabric and I don't want the hoop to move after I put it. So I got it there, and now it will start stitching. Okay. And take this off. Okay. And I have a tail. Cut that. And I still have the yellow thread on, and that's fine because all of this is going to be covered with the satin stitch. You won't see it. Okay. I don't think I need to iron that. I'll go do it real quick, but I won't bring the phone because I'm pretty sure it's going to fall off the stand if I keep moving it. Okay, ironed that down. Okay, I don't think I need to do a placement stitch for the tip of the pencil. Because it's obviously at the end of the yellow here, so I think I can just put my fabric right there. And it's stitch. All right. And so you see it did the tip of the pencil. I'm scared to touch this. Okay. Trim the tail. Trim the fabric. This is cute because it's got like a little scallop at the top of the where the wood meets the yellow. It's so cute. It's coming together. I love this design. You'll see why I picked it now, even though she didn't want it. It's so cute. I'm gonna go iron that real quick. Okay, so now all we have left is satin stitches. Let me check what color is next. So after we tack down, it wants to do, since I have the yellow thread still on, no, it won't let me. I'm gonna just go ahead and change it to the order it wants to be. Okay, so I'm gonna put black on now for the tip of the pencil. This is a lot of thread changing. I try to pay attention to see where I can skip ahead and do other stitches while I have that color on, but sometimes it really matters the order you do things in, so you just have to pay attention. So see that. So now I'm just going to be changing threads. So I'm looking back at questions. Okay, Betty said, do you recall the name of the video I made on how to use a silhouette for cutting applique? I think I do. I will check for you. All right, I'm cutting the black. What's next? I think next is white. It wants to do these white lines down the pencil, the middle of the pencil. And then it wants the eraser. Okay, so let me do this real quick. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Betty, this is the link for the video I did on how to cut applique with the silhouette machine. Okay, now it wants pink. So here's something I can do. So now it's time for the pink for the top of the eraser, but I'm also going to do her name in pink to try to make her happy. So when it's done with the eraser, I'm going to skip ahead to the name, so that I don't have to change colors again. And that's an instance where I know that doesn't matter. It's not important that the name be done at any particular time. It's not touching anything else. So, just holding this. Okay. Have I ever embroidered on a cap? Yes. And actually, our good friend Miss Carol, who's in our group here, she has made a device that snaps into your 5x7 hoop that you already have for your machine, and it holds the brim of the hat down flat, and then you push the upper part of the hat down, and I'll show you what it looks like in a second. But let me make sure this is all right. So I just finished with the eraser. Now I'm gonna jump ahead to the name and make sure my shirt is not in the way. Let's see. I don't think nothing's in the way, but I'll show you the brim board. So this is what the board looks like, and I'm going to do another live where I use this board and I show you how to use it. But it snaps into the 5x7 hoop, so instead of using you only use the outer hoop, and this is like your inner hoop. And the hat, the brim of the hat goes in between these two pieces. You could loosen them with this. And the brim of the hat goes in there. And then you push this part of the hat flat as you can. And you put some sticky tearaway stabilizer in here. And you can embroider a hat on this machine. So that's definitely going to be a live video we will do in the future. And Miss Carol, you can put your link to buy your brim board in the chat box so if people want to get one. So they have it all ready for when we do our live. Okay. Do you trim any stitch tails on the back? Yes, I trim a little bit. It depends. Most of the time, like with Elise's shirt here, I'm going to cover up the back of the shirt with the Tender Touch stuff. So it really doesn't matter. You're not going to see them. You're not going to feel them. So you have to be careful that you can't get what I call scissor happy and start trimming a bunch, because it can compromise the stitches in the front and they can come undone. So you don't want to trim too much. You want to make sure that there's still like a good 1/4 inch of thread poking up out of the back of the shirt, I would say. I do pay attention when I'm doing a white shirt, and say I got an applique and I had a black thread, a black long thread. I don't want it to get ironed outside of the design where you're going to see it through the shirt after. So pay attention to stuff like that. But yeah, you can trim some of them, but just be careful. You know how you have a tin can for your scraps? You use an applique scrap. Con says, so I got this is my tin can. This is my garbage can. It is full of thread. This is when I cut with my pinking shears, applique fabric, use bobbins. Like, I have 3 of these in my room. I have one at this table, I have one at the craft table where my iron board is, and then I just put a can on the side of my persona. So when I change the thread on the persona, I got a spot to drop them all in. I think people do something with those, like if they get a big jar and they fill it up with thread. Jessica asked where I got the design. I think, Jessica, if you scroll up in the group, in the chat, you'll see I posted the design a couple times. Ooh, Betty said Walmart has the mini iron for only $12. That's a good deal. I think it costs $20 on Amazon. I love Amazon, but if Walmart has it cheap, I'm getting it at Walmart. Okay, I'm gonna pause. Okay, so this machine does not cut jump stitches. Can you see the jump stitch that goes from the bottom of the I to the top of the S? So this, and it's going through it. Oops, through it a few times. So here we go. This thing is gonna fall. Paused it, and I'm gonna cut that real quick. So one way we talked about to avoid jump stitches with this machine is to, in Brilliance, make each letter a different color, because when something's a different color, it's telling your machine to stop. All the comments. Yes, I'm not the cleanest person, but I don't want thread everywhere. So I definitely like having my little random, this is just a little tin. Just go find something in your house. Use a cup. Here in New Orleans, everybody has a cabinet full of plastic Mardi Gras cups. I'll mail you a bunch of them. Oh wait, Elise is banging at the door. A toy? What kind of toy?
I want to make something.
Okay, watch. Don't hit Mommy's phone. She's going to knock it over.
Tomorrow.
Oh, I have a secret tomorrow, guys. Elise. Elise.
Secret supply.
Okay, you tell my friends. I won't listen.
Mommy has a secret supplies tomorrow.
Don't jump on the chair.
Mommy,
I'm not listening.
I need to make something for you.
Okay, stand up and tell your friends what the surprise is tomorrow. What's the secret?
Tomorrow it's my mom's anniversary day.
I'm not listening.
Tomorrow is my mom's anniversary day. Tomorrow.
Okay. All right. It's a surprise.
Yeah.
I don't know know about it. I don't know about it at all, guys. It's a surprise. I was holding my ears. So, all right, it's doing the last B of her name. So BJX, she sees that I have a Mac. Hey, get down. Get down. Hey, get down. All right, BJ was saying she sees I have a Mac, and she asks if I have the program called Convert It for Mac. No, I don't have that program.
Mommy,
I
could
think.
you give me some paper, please?
Look, that purple notebook on the floor you can use. Okay,
No.
just finished her name. Look how cute,
I
guys. Look how cute. All we have
Mommy.
left is the.
need is some paper, not in a book.
Yellow and the tan, and we're done. 2 more colors. 2 more colors. Home stretch.
Mommy.
You want paper that's not in a book?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 minute.
Or a notebook.
That you don't want a notebook, or you do want a notebook?
I don't want a notebook.
She doesn't want a notebook. It's
I
very,
just want paper.
just want a paper. What if I take a piece of paper out of the notebook?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, guys. Okay, now we're doing the yellow for the pencil. Okay. Doing the yellow. Looking good. Okay. Miss any other questions? Okay, so DJ was talking about Convert It Mac. I know it's a program from Embroidery. I think it's for if you have designs on a card. You've been on the phone the whole time. You can't fuss at me. He's fussing at me. I'm taking too long. I told him I'd only be on here an hour tonight. We're at 2 hours. Kelsey says hi. I mean, no, Kelsey. Chris says hi. He's probably been on the phone with Kelsey's husband, Duncan, this whole time. So, Convert It. I think that is for if you have designs on a card. I think that's what it's for. I'm not really familiar with it, but I don't have it. I know that much. I just have Embroidery and Stitch Artist level 2. Okay, so you have it, DJ. Tell us about it, because I don't know about it. Is it something? What is it used for exactly? Because all the designs I've purchased online. I've purchased, it either came in comes in every format for every brand embroidery machine. Since I have a brother, I use PES. If you have a baby lock, it's also PES. And then when I buy fonts, I look for fonts that come in a BX format, so then you can just use your keyboard to type them out in Embroidery. Last color is coming up. Longest project ever. YouTube is going to kick me off for having this long of a live video, probably. I have no idea how any of this works. I know when we're on Facebook, I think the longest video I had was like 1.5 hours. So we are pushing it. Pushing it. Okay, I got this color for the wood part of the pencil. And then we're done, and we just have to clean up. And keep our fingers crossed that Elise will actually wear the shirt, even though it's not me. All right, tell Hubby thanks for the desk design. Linda, you got a desk? Oh, I'm so excited for you. Yes, guys, I love my desk. When I'm done stitching this, I'll show you my mess of a craft run for those people who haven't seen my desk before. So, right at the beginning of the stay-at-home order, I was ordered to stay home. The kids, the schools closed down, and my husband is actually in school full time right now, and he's in for nurse anesthesia, and he usually went to clinicals 4 days a week and class 1 day a week, and they even shut down clinicals where they didn't want students going to the hospital. So he was home for like 2 or 3 weeks, where they had shut everything down. So I put his behind to work. I'm like, we need to build this, we need to do this. So that's the only reason why I have this desk, because I don't think he would have built it until another year that he's done with school. Okay, we're done. I'm so excited. This, I think, is the cutest design. I love it. Okay, so let me show you really quickly how to clean it up. And then we are done. Okay. So, sorry, I don't have great camera angles here. So I'm just going to pull the tape off. We're probably getting past Elise's bedtime too. Good thing it's Friday. Alright. So, let's pull this off. I actually did a little video this morning, getting ready to go to work. And came upstairs. Ooh, let me put it in low power mode. Okay, sorry about that. Getting ready to go to work this morning. I came upstairs to get my laptop and pack it, and I was cleaning up in here a little bit, and they had a shirt with, the material all folded and stacked up nicely. Totally forgot I was supposed to make somebody a birthday shirt, and they needed it today. So it was a good thing that I woke up early this morning and I saw that, so I hurried up and made a shirt this morning. It would have been a much better shirt to do for this live, because it was only 3 pieces of applique, and it was really easy. So I hurried and made a shirt this morning, and I went ahead and just filmed it with my phone while I was doing it, so you could see all this in fast motion on Instagram and on Facebook. I think it's in the stories. So, okay, I take the hoop out. Now, I need to take the pins. I'm gonna do the front first. So on the front, I take my pins out. I like to cut my jump stitches before I pull away the water-soluble topper. It's a little easier to cut them, and without kind of have that layer in between your scissors and the shirt to keep from accidentally snipping your shirt. Okay. So I had some jump stitches in between the letters, but that's it. Okay. Good. And then I pull the water-soluble topper just like it's tear away. Just pull it. So right along this edge here, the topper got caught up. But I don't see where it looks bad or anything. Yeah, looks fine. Okay, and just try and pull as much. So this is my other trash tin. Topper, threads, whatever. Try to get in the ease. I have fingernails, so they're easy to pull up most of the time. If you don't have fingernails, then don't even try. If you got pieces where you can't get it out, then, or you have any remnants, especially when you're doing like a sketch design, it's really hard to get it. So then I got this in like the travel section in Walmart, and it just has water in it. And I spray to get any water soluble topper that might be in the threads or around. Just spray it. And then I keep an old towel on my desk to just wipe. If they have any away, it just wipes away. Okay, and then if you noticed, and I find even, so this placement marker, it goes away with water, but you have to like, it has to be like soaking wet for it to go away. So I like to use a Tide pin, and that like makes those marks go away like so quickly and easily. That's it. Okay. So now I got all the marks off, and it's a little wet, but it's okay because it's going to dry when we iron it. So now we got the inside of the shirt. Like I said, I really don't trim the threads. So I have, this is the tearaway and this is the poly mesh. I'm just going to pull the tearaway. It really just needs to go, just get the outer edge. You don't have to worry about getting it all in here. You definitely don't need to worry about getting it in here. Just leave that. It's okay if it gets left. So I'm just pulling that. Okay, so the shirt is done, but like we talked about, we want to cover this up. But before I do that, I'm gonna iron this poly mesh. I'm gonna trim it a little bit. I'm gonna trim the poly mesh and then iron it back down because like some of it's kind of wrinkly. And I know my threads have no problem with the iron. The Exquisite brand that I use, I have heard other people who have the Bro Thread brand from Amazon, the iron will melt the thread. So depending, if you don't want to take a chance, use the parchment paper and use that to iron if you're worried about melting anything. So that's good. I'm actually gonna, I use the big iron for, okay, so this is, some people call it Tender Touch. I think the Sulky brand is called Tender Touch. This is the Winder brand I buy on Amazon. Almost all of my stabilizers are that brand. The only Sulky thing I have, I think, is the Tearaway. So everything else is the Winder brand. I like their version of Tender Touch. I find it stays on a lot better. The regular Tender Touch, or another company calls it Cloud Cover, I find it like it pulls up so easy, like it doesn't stay ironed down. I find this one works better. Still probably, it still can come up, but it works better to me. So I'm just cutting a piece a smidge bigger than what my poly mesh stabilizer is on the back. What?
Let's go see what she's doing.
I'm almost done with my video. Give me 5 more minutes. Okay, here goes class. All right, so we're gonna iron. I know, it's time to go to bed.
Go tell her. What you doing, woman?
What you doing, woman? What you doing, woman?
You're a hot mess, girl.
Still online?
Yeah.
Dada.
Huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Give me 5 more minutes. Okay. The ironing,
What's
the
she doing?
Tender Touch.
Mommy forgot the unicorn.
She don't need it. Let's go downstairs. Come on, let's go see what they got.
Okay.
Hey, no,
So,
don't ride
that
the
is
scooter
all done.
downstairs. You're gonna fall.
Be careful, Lacey.
Come on. Daddy hold you? Jumping.
A little bit puckered. That's a little bit wrinkly around the name, but it's not because of the stitching, it's because of the poly mesh behind it. But I think it looks good. So how do y'all like my 3-hour applique project? Okay, so you're all done. Always remember to unplug your irons, especially the little one. The little one does not have an auto shut off. My big nice iron has automatic shut off, so it will shut off by itself. But little one will not. So I keep it on a silicone mat. But make sure you unplug it when you're done. So thank y'all so much for hanging in there with me for my first horrible YouTube live. Let me look back at the computer real quick and see if I missed any questions. And then have another sip because we are done stitching. Okay. Not sure this posted Brimboard link. Okay, so last we talked about was Linda's got a desk. Oh, let me show you my desk. If I cannot, I'll take this off of the horrible tripod now. Whew, Lord. Okay, I don't know if you can see. This is my wonderful desk my husband made me. And I have a video of us building the desk. And it's great and I love it. I got this cart. I want another one though. I got a filing cabinet in that corner. And then this side had shelves already built. He built the shelves, so I just put some baskets in it. But I could use some more of those carts for like storage underneath. But I love, love my desk. Holds all my machines. I can spread out good. Okay, let's see. Jessica. Okay, so Angela and Pam have both had over 3-hour lives. Okay, so I'm not the only one. Woo! Those are 2 good people to look up to, so I don't feel as bad now. All right. Okay. Oh, Brenda says you're running on 2 hours sleep. Girl, you need to go to bed. All right, Jessica said you're going for surgical technology and your clinical stopped too. Yeah, his only stopped for 3 weeks. So the end of March, first week in April, and then they sent him back. He's in the operating room, so they weren't doing any operations. Like you had to be tested for COVID before you would get approved for an operation. So he wasn't dealing with COVID patients. So I guess that made it a little bit better. Hope you seen my comment of Converted Mac. It basically lets you convert other formats to your machine, and you can put files onto your Mac. Okay. All right, BJ. I'm gonna read more about it. Maybe if you don't have Embroidery, you could have that, because I know like with Embroidery Essentials. So we've talked about this before with the machines. So when I buy a design, so like I'm on Creative Applique and I buy a design, it comes in the 10 formats. And especially if you buy like a whole alphabet applique or something like that, like you get a ton of files. Or if you buy a bundle from So Fancy, you get a ton of files. And people were talking about like how much room that took up on their computer. And so they were deleting everything that wasn't the format that they need. So like I use PES format. So essentially I would go through and delete everything that was not PES. So I'd still have all the designs, but I'd only have PES. But say a couple years from now, I decide to get a different brand machine. Say I get a Racoma or a Melco. or a Janome, or, you know, something different, and I need a different format. You can open the PES format in Embroidery Essentials and then save it as a different format. So then I wouldn't have the problem of, oh, now I don't have designs to put on that machine. The Embroidery Essentials will let you save it as any format. So that's something I know I can do with that. But I'm gonna read more about the Convert It. Kelsey, you feel my pain with the loud husband. You would think they were talking on gas cans connected by a string. Yep. All right. Wait, I missed something. Linda, can you put a link to all of your stabilizers from Amazon? Yes, I actually just wrote a post all about stabilizers, and I link all of my stabilizers in that post. So I will put that right now. And I made a cute little chart that shows you what stabilizers I use for which projects. So that's a good little reference when you're doing something and you're like, I don't know which stabilizer I should use. Oh, it's a lot quieter now. Okay. Okay, thank y'all for making me feel better about seeing longer live videos. All right. I'm glad y'all thought it was fun and not horrible. Everyone, don't forget to, yes, please. I'm not a very good YouTuber. Please like my video and please subscribe. I think my older daughter Abigail, which she's not home tonight, she went and had a sleepover. But if she was here right now, she's a much better YouTuber than I am. Okay, I'm reading the stuff BJ's telling me about the Convert It in the formats. Okay. Jessica asks, have I ever embroidered a hair bow? I have not yet. I have lots of things that I want to do and I haven't played around with yet. And then I want to play with them, and then I want to show y'all how to do them. So bows on ribbon, you know, anything on ribbon, and then you could turn it onto a bow, or if you have a bow already made. Basically, all you would do is float it on a piece of tearaway. And the best thing to do would be to print out the design you want to do. So say like you're doing a tiny monogram or a tiny, you know, just a letter. Print it out with Embroidery Essentials. It will print to size. And then you can see exactly where you want to put it on the bow, and then put your ribbon, you know, right in the center of the tearaway stabilizer where your crosshairs are, and stitch it. Like, it should be easy peasy. I want to do key fobs. I want to do hand sanitizer holders. There's so many fun things that you can do. So that's it. So I know I linked some things here in the chat. When I'm done with the live, I will go. So does everybody know where the description box is for videos? Because I didn't know this until I started making YouTube videos. But so right now I don't have anything. So if you would look, if you're on your computer, it would be like right under the video, there's the title, and then there's my little circle with my picture and says Carly Bell. Under that, there would usually be like a couple sentences, and then it would say show more. When you click show more, and then it would expand. So like all my other videos, when you click show more, it shows you, and then it has links to everything. When you're on the phone, I think it looks like you have the name, and then there's a little teeny tiny down arrow. And when you click that, it expands, and then it'll have links to everything. So right now I don't have anything in the description box, but as soon as the live is over, I will put everything. So, but thank y'all so much. Thanks, Diana. I'm glad you learned a few things in all my chaos. Yeah, she's saying she's been embroidering for quite a number of years. It's amazing. Like, I've been doing it for 7 years, and I'm still learning new things like all the time. And even like our friends here in you know, now on YouTube, but in the Facebook group, one of the times I was doing a live and I was showing stuff on Embrilliance, I use the exquisite embroidery thread, and I couldn't find that as an option on the thread colors because you can pick which brand you use. And I think it was Sherry or Cynthia, somebody showed me like, oh, they do have it, they just have it labeled as something else first, so I didn't find it. So it's like we're always learning something new, and that's what's so great about the little community we have in our Facebook group now, because like we have people brand spanking new, we have people doing it a little while, we have people doing it longer than me, and we're all learning from each other. So I think most of y'all in here now are in my Facebook group, but if not, I'll put that in the link in the description box. So yes, I think it's time to go to bed now. I am tired. I'm sure y'all could tell my no makeup face. Thank you, Carol. Yep, tomorrow is 11 years. 11. I got married in 09. So a little while. So yeah, I hope we'll have a good weekend, good family weekend. So I hope y'all all had fun tonight, and thank you so much for watching. I know it was a big hot mess there, but thanks for sticking with me. We'll try this again next Friday. Bye. I will try and get a better tripod for next Friday.
Bye.
Say good night.
Good night.
Say I hope everybody.
Good night.
Hey everybody.
Happy tea.
Okay. Bye.
Happy tea.